Hello, good evening, good morning, good au revoir, bonjour. How freaking do? How are you all doing? Yeah, I wish my mum would leave me alone. Just like a pest. Hope everyone is well, by the way. Yeah, what a bit of a weird one. Obviously, not won at Ellen Road for 11 years. Managed to get a win there. We've started off better, more positive than we have under Vincent Kompany. It's things starting to look a little bit brighter at Turf Moor, especially since the close of the transfer window. Hope everybody is well. Get your comments in, give your predictions for the Portsmouth game. That's what we're here for. We are going to touch on, obviously, a lot of other subjects as well. So if you can, please do drop a like on this video, share it about, let people know where we are, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to join, you can. It's like 99p a month. It helps the channel grow, and yeah, it helps us flourish, which is always nice. Hope everyone is well. As I say, get your comments in. Massive respect, greetings, Paul. Hope you're well, mush. Martin's in. How's things? Things aren't too bad. It's always nice to get a win over Leeds, especially coming off an still unbeaten against those horrible M65 horse fiddling bastards. So that said, I am so glad to have Baxi on, or Burnley Backs. That's how we are. Burnley Backs is in the building. For people who don't know, Baxi's just started a Burnley channel talking about, obviously, going through the games that run to the crowd, that run to the stadium, get in there, couple of beers before, getting on ground, seeing all the game through. But yeah, first of all, please do go check it out, because I know there's a few people that do it. We were speaking about it off camera, but please do go check it out. In fact, I'm gonna get the link and I'm gonna post it in the comments for people, so people can go straight and click it, and then they know where it's at. But Baxi, thanks for coming on, mate. And tell people a bit about you and your love for Burnley Football Club.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was a bit of a shock today when I got a message and I was sat in my works van. I'm like, oh, what's this then? But yeah, I started a YouTube channel literally this season. I've always wanted to do something like that, and like saying off chat, met someone on holiday, and I thought, well, he just said give it a go, and there were only a couple more people in Burnley that actually did it, so I thought, well, why not? I go on the games anyway. I'm a season ticket holder in James Hargreaves Lower, so I thought, well, let's just give it a go, and I've caught some great moments so far. And but football for me has been everything really. I've been going on. I still remember my first ever away game with my mum. My mum taking me on up to Sunderland with my mate Dave Lewisage on the coach.
Yeah.
And then my first ever turf game, we got absolutely stuffed. I think we got stuffed like 6-1 off AFC Wimbledon. So I've been through the highs and the lows of the club, and I've just at the moment I'm enjoying doing this YouTube, getting people to see Burnley from the other, instead of just coming to the turf. It's just like, you get to see the pubs before, you get to see the walk down, you get to see everyone smiling, me jumping up and down like an absolute madman. But other than that, it's been absolutely great, and obviously there's more to come. Great, loads more to come. Yeah, we've got the rest of the season.
Exactly, mate. You've picked a good season, actually, because like I say, if it were last season, it might have just been a proper negative channel, to be fair.
I think every thumbnail would have just been head in hands and not wanting to do another, thinking, I can't be bothered with this. That's why I've picked a good one, so hopefully
definitely. I've put the link in the comments for people. Just for people that are listening when this does go out on podcast, which if you are listening, you clearly are listening now, then yeah, search Burnley Backs on YouTube and it will come straight off the bat. But yeah, so please do go show Baxi your support. Other than that, Baxi, what have you made of us this season? Let's start with your thoughts on the Parker appointment, because obviously not a lot of fans wanted him in.
No.
What did you think?
So when it first came out that Vincent Kompany were leaving, and obviously my opinion on him going, hate the fact he left. Sorry, I would have loved to have another season in the Championship with us, and then he got me when he said, I've got a plan and we're going to stick to the plan and this is it, and I'm going to be here for a time. And then obviously the season in the Premiership didn't go the way at all anyone expected. I expected us to field the old Championship team that won us the title, to come in, we played them games, and we played the style of football that we did in Championship, where, for me, we could have competed with every game that we played. But in the Premier League, we just got walked off the park completely. And when it first came out that he left, I was like, oh, well, you can't really turn down Bayern Munich. No one's ever going to turn down that move.
No, the heck.
And my opinion of Scott Parker coming, at first, he weren't on my radar at all. I wouldn't have even chose him to even be part of the Burnley squad, or even manage Burnley. I know he had a tough time in Bruges. I think he ended up falling out with the owners, didn't he, or something like that. But obviously, when your time away from football, you do change, and you change as a person and a manager, so he's probably done the right thing. But I wanted to have the Wolves manager. Is it Liam Rosinair? Lee Rosinair?
Oh, yeah, the guy who's in charge at Hull.
Yeah, Hull, sorry. Yeah, youngster. He was my top option that I would have liked to have. But with that being said, Parker now being appointed, and he's coming at such a bad time, because we had so many players have gone, and I never expected some of them players to go. Like Amdouni, I expected him to stay, and then who's the other guy who left? Dara O'Shea. Start of the season, Luton game. I know about, but I thought when we played Luton in the 4-1 win, I was like, no one's going to leave this club. I thought this is going to be the champion side. We're going to smash everything, and then it just got picked apart. But then it started getting to the stage of, right, who we're going to have, who we're going to bring in. And the signings he has brought in are great. I still think that we could have brought in like maybe another right back. We're only having Roberts there. Yeah. But going forward, I think we've got many players who can jump in there. Like Bashir jumped in there the other day, and he played well. Got a red card, but it's not really. Yeah. I think the signings that we've got, we've kept the structure. So we've kept like the Brownhill, Cullen, J-Rods are still there. They're like the main core to our team at the minute. Even Jack Cork's still there. I know he's not really playing anymore. He's more going into a coach role. But then youngsters who've coming in, them boys are then saying, right, well, this is what the club expects. This is how we want you to be as a player. And I think from there now, everyone's getting that structure again, what we had. We've got the good span. We've got the youngsters going to the old boys. And then now Parker being in there as well. It's just starting to gel, and I can just see it's going to be a cracking season this season for us. Yeah,
100%. I think obviously one thing that you learnt from the documentary as well, I think it was Matt Williams dealing with the transfers that said we need men, and I think that's what we've done this year. We've actually signed players like Josh Loren, who he's 29 years of age, so he is towards the back end of his career. Not saying that his career is dead in the water, but for an age terms, he's at the back end, not at the, I'm just coming through the system like a lot of the players were that company brought through the door. A lot of them as well came here because of company, where now I feel that we've got players that have come here because they want to play for Burnley, not just play for said name, which is also nice to see. We had players like Ben Mee who, would have died wearing the shirt, things like that over the years. So it's nice to have that. Players like Esteve showing almost like Ben Mee qualities in terms of stepping up as a leader. Like, I'll be here. They might all want to leave, but I'm not. I'm going nowhere.
Yeah. And that's it. People like that you need in the club, and it's those players that are the backbone, and then they'll give you 90 minutes, 100%. Ben Mee, he absolutely grafted for this club, and it's the reason why Burnley fans love him. You give 90 minutes in our shirt, and you graft your arse off. The fans love you. And you end up going down club legends, and not even legends in like terms of goals and assists and bloody clean sheets. You go down because Burnley fans respect you that much. You go down as a legend that way, just like Barnes.
Yes,
top shit house. Still love him.
Exactly. That's the one thing I think I'm always looking forward to when we come up against Norwich this season, just like bumping into Barnes and seeing him again. Like when you see not seen a family member for ages and you bump into him, it's like, oh, so glad that we've got to catch up. But Andrew's in chat and he says, hola, and then 100% why we love Hannibal already, because, Hannibal's been that ready-made sort of Barton-esque Barnes replacement with his shithousery. I mean, what have you made of So obviously Hannibal's mentioned there, but what have you made of the signings that have come in, like your Loren, Hannibal, Worrell, and players like that?
I think going back to the Luton game, I'll start with Perez first. Perez was when he come, I'm like, oh, didn't really know much about him. Thought young Brazilian, he's gonna should shine well. The ball he played through to Brownhill were absolutely unbelievable. He just slotted it straight through, and I thought, yeah, this is a left back. After having Charlie Taylor for years and being like, right, well, he's going to be our new main guy. But then I watched him back at Leeds, and when I watched the game, I'm thinking he has the tendency just to do like an odd dodgy pass or an odd dodgy touch. I think Steve passed him a ball, and he pinged into the dugout, and I'm like, how have you not controlled that? And then there were times where he just gave the ball away too easy. But then, obviously, you've got, I can't remember who we had on the left-hand side now, but they are coming back and helping him, which is good for that. But I'd think a couple more games, let him get settled in, and he'll be absolutely fine there as a left-back. Josh Laurent impressed me. I thought, like you say, I thought 500k, I thought, is he really going to be worth it? But he was solid with Brownhill in the middle. And it was he just swept up everything. There were an odd time where he did give it away, but obviously he's a midfielder. You're going to get that type of football anyway. Who else? Worrell, outstanding. That tackle he did. I watched the tackle back 3 or 4 times now, because in my YouTube comments, they're all like, oh, it's a penalty. You've not seen this. And I'm like, no, I've seen it. And he goes through his legs, taps the ball, and he gets the ball first. So, but that's what you need. You need players who are willing to do that, but at the same time, not be scared to not get stuck in. Who else have we brought in? Oh, Hannibal. Oh, the guy's unbelievable. He's my first person, if I ever bet on a Saturday on a bet builder, like Hannibal, yellow card. 100%. But it's good to see. I love how he wound the Leeds fans up like unbelievably. Like the video clip of him walking past, going, yeah, come on. That's the type of people we need. We need people who we need to be that shithouse team, and
100%.
That's the team we are. Possibly. People hate playing us because we used to be the old long dirty football, long ball over top. But I think the players that we have now are they're just going to mold into an absolute unbelievable team. And I think going forward, even if we can bring some more in January, we've already got that base set ready. I could do with probably another winger for me.
Yeah, because we sort of shipped out quite a few of them. I mean, the one that worried me, obviously, Luke's in. He's he works down at Burnley, but he's a Forest fan. He probably won't mind me saying this about Worrell, but the Worrell signing for me, I was a bit like that. I mean, how many years were we linked with Worrell under Sean Dash? How many years did we want Dale Stevens? And when we got him, it was shit. So I had like fears that Worrell's going to come in and sort of do that. But then yet again, Worrell had a point to prove. It's like, I've had my face shoved out at a club that I love. I'm going to go elsewhere and show why I deserve to be loved. And to be fair, I think he's slotted in pretty well. Yeah. Paul says there, Pires is a poor defender, but I'm not giving up on him yet. Like I say, sometimes it's first season. I don't reckon a lot of Burnley fans rated the amount of money we spent on Lyle Foster when we first signed him and the season that he had in the Championship before going up. But what an animal he's been since coming back, dealing with all his demons and things like that. So there's going to be a season of adaptation. I mean, we looked to last season. We couldn't finish chances for love nor money.
No.
Now we're getting 2 or 3 chances in a game, barely seeing any of the ball, and yet still being very clinical.
Well, it's like, go back to the company days in the Premier League. We had in the Championship, we had so much possession, but we were clinical to finish the games off. We were shooting from everywhere. Twans even on free kicks, bagging them. We did everything right that season. Moved straight into that Premier League season. We had a lot of possession, but we couldn't finish. We literally could not finish at all. I was gagging for a shot just hit it from 35 yards, hitting up.
Why are we trying to walk it into the box? We aren't Manchester
exactly. City. But then you look at the football that we played against in the last couple of games that we have played. The first game, very attacking. The wingers were driving on. Vitinho got a goal from driving in, and that's what we missed from when the Championship season. Driving into that box, we were clinical at finishing. The past couple of games that I've seen, we're doing that. Coley-Oshaw's goal at Leeds, driving into the box. Everyone's driving towards the bar line. You get a corner, or you get in the goal, or you get in the goal scoring opportunity. We missed that. We were just whipping balls in. Oh, let's see if Foster can get his head on this. And it's not the style that we are bringing. Whereas Parker now, he will happily go and attack, but he will happily sit back and, like when we got the goal at Leeds, he sat back and he just wanted that pressure.
I said this to someone the other day. I said he's got a mix of company and a mix of dash in him.
Yeah,
he's got that sort of like, we can get on the front foot when we need to, but if we need to be resolute at the back, we have to. Yeah. And I think you could, like you said there, the Coley-Oshaw goal, the decision making in the Prem last season, Coley-Oshaw wouldn't have even attempted to make that shot. He'd have fannied about and played it back towards midfield, tried to mess about and then carve an option open. He did potentially have that option because he had Jadon Anthony far side. But then as he's coming and he got close to goal, they were all like, shit, I've got a choice to make. Do I go towards like Luca or do I try and cut out the pass? And then he's thinking, well, I've got to cut out the pass because if my keeper narrows that angle down, he still can't make the pass. But the keeper's positioning was shit for that goal as well.
Yeah.
So obviously you ride your luck. Obviously Solomon fell. Luca goes steaming in. But how great were we defending as well? To see such a resolute defensive performance. We've not seen stuff like that since the Dash days.
Yeah, and it was that is the one thing where I know we got a man sent off back end of the game, but we had a full 11 defending. Zion I think there were one point in the corner we attacked from the front, we defended literally from the front as well. The one bit in the corner when Fleming was up in the top left-hand corner and Leeds had the ball, they passed it back to the keeper, back to the right back, and Zion just took it straight away. And we were just the pressing of the team we didn't give them time, even though they had 17 shots, 4 on target, bloody 9
that's
corners.
What worried me though, because the start of the game, I thought, shit, our high line is going to be penetrated like no tomorrow. We're going to be like a bride's knickers on a wedding night. We're going to be like pants down, bang, straight, taken over. And we just didn't. We actually stood tall. We stood man for man. And I dare say we've even got better at defending from corners and stuff like that. Set pieces, we've got a bit stronger.
We're a lot more taller now as well. We struggle. We had a lot of young, you'd say young, but they're very small players. Like Cullen's only small. But you've got like Steve. And defensive-wise, we were solid. But I also think as well, going back to the Joel Worrell signing, we've still got Joel there, but we've also still got I know Bay's out for quite a while, but we've still got Ekdal to come back as well. We've still got centre halves there who Worrell, I think, will keep out. They won't. I don't think anyone else is going to get into position now. And you've got Steve. Steve's solid. I absolutely love him. I just think he's one of the best centre halves that for the level that we're playing now in the Championship. They're miles. Steve's a mile. He should be playing in Prem by far. Yeah. But the quality, he's the guy who says, right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get back to Premier League. I'll stay here, graft my arse off, and away we go. We'll get back up there.
The thing is with Esteve as well, that I'll give him his due for, and I don't think the club will mind me mentioning it, that his whole demeanour regarding playing for Burnley Football Club was there when he was named in the provisional Olympic squad for France.
Yeah.
As soon as he saw that Ekdal was injured, obviously with Bayer already ruled out, he told the club, remove me I want to be removed from the French squad. I've got a chance to play for your club, remove me. He put his club career in front of playing in the Olympics for France. That for me shows the sort of player he is. He's been here, about a year and a half? Not even that, probably a year. And has now signed a 5-year deal. Lucas signed a 5-year deal when we all thought he would popping off. Since that turn of the transfer window, because obviously that week leading up to that Bastards game were horrendous. I mean, social media was a pit, an absolute pit of just shit from one side, that they're asset strippers, that people are going to go. I can tell you now, and I don't know whether I said it in the last thing, but at the fan board meeting, Alan Pace sat everyone down and said straight away, there is more chance of me being buried in the centre of that pitch than there is of him leaving. He has nothing. He's going nowhere, basically, was what he was saying. So for people that say that, if you believe whatever you want to believe, but I've heard it from the horse's mouth right there and then. He's going nowhere. And for me, I've got nothing but admiration for him. He said that it's going to be a process. We are going to chop and change players that will get right, some will get wrong. But he's not going to go all gung-ho like he did with Company. He's not going to say, right, we'll sign an extra 10 that's not going to work out, because then you're left with a bag of shit to deal with. And I think that's another thing that you can twist onto Parker. Parker's come in with an absolute shitstorm of a group of players that I don't want to play for you anymore because Vinny's gone. I don't want to be here because I've played in the Premier League, so I believe I'm a Premier League player.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that are like, well, if everybody else is leaving, I might chance my arm and see if I can get a move. So there's loads of different things going on behind the scenes that not a lot of us probably know. But I love the transparency that you get in them meetings, which is really, really good.
Well, that's the thing going for that as well. It's like with the board meetings, when it all first come out before that Blackburn game, and like you say, with all the speculations and the talk on Twitter and the talk everywhere, like all coming, it was from everywhere. Even I were at it. I'm like, right, what is going on? What's going on with this club? And there's many a tweets where I put out saying, well, what's going on? Why is I think what Burnley fans got frustrated off more is because there was, like you say, Alan said this to you at your fan board meetings, but there was nothing out there for Burnley fans to give us that little bit of hope to be like, right, well, yeah, we are signing this player, or we signed this. There were odd one popping up, one or two signings, but then it was still like, right, well, who we're going to have? And then I remember on Twitter, someone put a picture of like, there was some guy taking photos inside the training ground, and then they were tracking helicopters and everything. I was thinking, this is absolutely madness now.
It is. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I can understand why it went quiet on socials, or because people were asking and expecting answers, and the club aren't in a position to be like, "All right, well, you deserve to be answered." The club almost have to say, "Let us work." Yes, what you're seeing is probably to you as a fan a bag of shit because we're selling our best players. But as much as you're looking at them as they're our best players, them best players didn't want to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
They've spat their dummy out. I want an extra 30 grand. You're stopping me from that move. You're stopping this. So there's all sorts of things. And then you've got the agent bullshit as well. It's just an absolute whorehouse of dog shit that the flaming people at football clubs have to deal with. So I can understand why there was no actual message put out until after the window.
Yeah.
Because then it was a case of, right, well, judge us now.
Big statement.
The window's still open. Yeah, we'll try and do what we can. So it's nice to see that we were proactive. Obviously, the Blackburn game, we drew, whatever, we still remain unbeaten, and we rode our luck in that game. Personally, I love my end up and say we rode our luck, but it's about time luck went in our favour against those dirty, unwashed.
Definitely.
See you next Tuesdays. But that Leeds game, let's talk about that Leeds game. I think, a very hard 4-1-0 against a team that's at that time was unbeaten.
Well, when I first started watching it, I thought, right, well, I was happy to have a 1-1 draw. I said on my prediction, I'm like, it's going to be 1-1. Anything else for me is a bonus. The start of the game, I think it was Mateo Joseph. As soon as he went through that first minute from Koleosho's pass back to Steve, I thought that was it. I thought that was 1-0, and I thought, oh, great start, here we go. But luckily, he just leaned a little bit too far to the left, and he just put it wide. But they dominated us. We were lucky, not like I say lucky, but we Koleosho's finish. Solomon slipped, and to drive on 50, 60, 70 yards, whatever he drove on, and then the calmness just to slot it away. Like you said, the defender coming across, well, he had to make a decision of what he wanted to do. Stay with Anthony or come across. And obviously he come across and he got megged and it was 1-0 Burnley. But the way we played, I thought we were outstanding. And I say outstanding in a good way, but also as attacking. We were clinical and we finished what we needed to do to get the 3 points. I thought defensive wise it was unbelievable. We got the goal. We invited pressure onto us, but like we invited it like we were relishing it, as if to say like, right, come at us. We're a brick wall. I thought, and Trafford, for me, it was unbelievable. And I'll hold my hand up. I'll hold my hand up now. In the Premier League, I absolutely slated him. I was like, get out, don't want him here. What is pointless? And then having watched that, he scored. I think in 90th minute, he gripped the ball in the air, and that we celebrated like it were a goal.
He was giving it Pickford treatment when he's like,
I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I'm glad he is our keeper. And I just think he did need, when we're in the Premier League, he did need one more season in Championship to become a proper goalkeeper, but like get his confidence up more, get him to be. He's a cracking shot stopper. They should have been up. They should have been up 3 or 4-0 by the first half. And
that first minute when he was through on goal, he's angled it right by spreading his leg out to that angle and made him go wide. There was the one where they've been played in halfway through the game, and he's practically there where the attacker is, and it's off his chest. And so his decision making in that game was absolutely spot on for me.
Yeah.
For me, our man of the match, as much as defensively we were strong, because without him between the sticks, we wouldn't have been sat here talking about a 1-0 win. Put it that way.
And it's like there were so many chances. I can't remember. I can't even pronounce his name. It's called Gnotto.
Oh,
he missed the. I think he got the ball got fed through him by Anderson. I think he's called their number 11. He did a really neat pass in, and Trafford just come out and made himself so big. Any other goalkeeper might have gone past him, but he was solid and there was nothing going past him. I think it was just his day, absolutely his day. And he was a man of match performance, and a very well deserved one for him as well. Yeah. But what do you think? Look at the Leeds game then compared to the Blackburn game. We were a lot more attacking in the Blackburn game. But when they went down to 10 men, we struggled to break them down. They ended up being a little bit more on top of us. So how can we go from Leeds punishing us and then Blackburn with 10 still nearly punishing us? It's like, how do you go about, which I don't even know, like how do you get Championship football?
It is. That's why I think the Championship is 10 times more entertaining than the Premier League, because the Premier League is the same old media-hyped bullshit every single time. The Championship, you've got twists and turns. I mean, I had Gateshead to beat Dagenham and Redbridge the other week, and Dagenham Red went and stuffed them 7-1. So, my football bet went straight down the shit pan. You can back teams at the top of the league. I backed Sunderland away at Plymouth.
Well, that's
dog shit. And then Plymouth go and win 3-2. Flaming Stockport get a draw away at Flaming whoever it were. So I'm just like, these teams are unbeaten. Yes, it's still early in the season, but the twists and turns in the EFL is massive. And again, like you said, that Blackburn game, coming up against 10 men, it's sometimes so much more difficult to play against 10 than it is 11, because with 11, it's more open. At 10, they're having to sit back and defend for the life, 10 men behind the ball sometimes. But Ash just said here in chat, he said, I slated Trafford as well, but think the Championship is his current level. A very good league to learn his trade, so to say, which, I'd have said so for Muric as well. I think after a couple of loans that he had at Forest, where Forest fans went, Jesus, what have you signed him for?
And then you look at the first game.
The end of that season, the end of that season that we got promoted, I thought he grew from the start of the season to the end of the season, which is why I was surprised he wasn't our number one going into the Prem. But I think that's where we messed up with Trafford. We have a very brilliant future England goalkeeper on our hands, but as much as he's got the confidence in himself, it's having that confidence in your performance to then match. You can't say I'm going to be a world beater one day and then not showcase it, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Unless you're Vincent Kompany, then you can get relegated and just fall on your feet no matter what. That Leeds game obviously were pretty difficult. We were very hard to break down. We did really well defensively. Midfields were pretty solid. What are you hoping from this Pompey game then? Because I was just looking at some of the stats. We have won just 2 of our last 14 league games against Portsmouth. We did win the last meeting between them when we beat them 5-1 in March 2012, which was our joint biggest win against Pompey in the EFL. Pompey are unbeaten across their last 7 away league games against Burnley, recording twice as many wins as their first 19 league visits. And what's this one? Portsmouth have received the most cards than any other team in the Championship this season, while each of Burnley's last 3 league games have seen a red card brandish, 1 for and 2 against. So, discipline-wise, both teams are shit. And
bookings bet.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, I mean, stats are there to be broken, though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I like Portsmouth. Not that, I don't obviously like them. I liked them when Harry Redknapp were there. But
they were in Prem, though, weren't they? They felt like a staple. Yeah, Crouching Defoe up top, Nico Cranshaw in that midfield pivot. And Matty Taylor, who came to us later on. They had a real team.
He scored some real bangers for Portsmouth as well.
Yeah.
You always have that team, though, that you do keep an eye on. And Portsmouth, always do put them on my coupon. Sometimes they bust us, sometimes they're not. But they played, I think the results they haven't had a bad start.
They did a job on Leeds, didn't they?
Yeah, I know.
Leeds should have Leeds should have been about 4-0 up in the first 10 minutes of that game, the opening day of the season.
But I think that,
and then they got
3-3, weren't it?
Yeah.
3-2. I think I'm sure it was 3-2, and I think so. I think
it finished 3-3. I think.
Yeah, Aronson scored in the 95th minute, and it was like I'm thinking, well, you've got good result there. You were very unlucky to. I think I beat off Sunderland 3-2 as well, and then maybe I think they had Middlesbrough 2-2. So the results for them haven't been too bad. They're still scoring goals, but they've come up against 3 of the top sides that are already sat. At the top of the West Brom at the top of the Championship, so they come up against them. They've got a really bad run of games. I think West Brom they last played 3-0. Then they've got us, and then they've got Sheffield United straight after. So they're playing 2 of the teams that have already come down who are hitting it now. They're hitting the main like Burnley. I think we're going to smash them at weekend, but they're hitting the horrible teams first, and then hopefully they'll probably be able to pick up some points. They've got QPR and Cardiff coming up, so they might pick up some points there, and I hope they do.
Yeah, same. I mean, looking at the table, obviously we currently sit 4th, behind the unwashed lot. I wish they'd fuck off. They usually get that 1 win at the start of the season and then filter, but seem to be doing something this year for some reason.
They've won the league after like 5 games then all the time, every season.
100%.
They'll 100%. Drop off by Christmas. That's their Christmas present.
That it is.
Here's your fixture list.
Dodgy Venky's curry. Pompey sit 23rd with only 3 points, -5 goal difference. You know what? I think this is going to be, I don't know, maybe sounding a bit big-headed here, but I think we're going to have another almost like Burnley Cardiff game. I'm not saying in terms of the scoreline, but I think in terms of performance, where we might not even have to be our best to still get a result here.
If they start the side that started for Leeds, and I think it's a whitewash. I honestly do. With a home crowd as well. Burnley fans, obviously, coming off that Leeds game, they're going to be buzzing because we're back to winning ways. And once we start winning at Turf Moor, it's an unforgivable place to come. It's so narrow, it's loud. Everything away fans do, it just gets drained out. So, and it must be daunting for, like, they've been down in League 1 and 2 now for like a couple of while, haven't they? They haven't really been anywhere near Championship for a long time. So, they want to play with the big lads again. So, come to the big stadium again and feel the atmosphere. And I think we've just got too much for them. I think we'll just play. I think middle of the park will absolutely just annihilate him. And I'm hoping Zion gets a couple of goals in just to kickstart him up. But then I looked at Zion the other day. Do you play Foster? Or is Parker going to mix it up between them going forward? Is he going to have Zion?
Is he going to put them both together?
Or is he going to put them both together? Yeah. And that's what I like about Parker. His company, going back to the company like style of play, he always had the right mentality of going forward, getting attacking, getting the ball passing, 700 odd passes, whatever we did, but then no goals. But then when we were losing the games, he always reverted. He couldn't revert back to anything because that's the only style of football that he played. Whereas Parker, you go, say we went 1-0 down, right, he'll attack. And then if we bring it back, he can go to the long ball option. He can go to the short side, tick-attacker football. He's got an option A, B, and C all the time. And that's what I think he's such a good manager for us now. And the different styles will break teams down so differently.
Massively. What are you expecting lineup-wise then for Saturday? Because the thing is, it's so hard to predict, where Dash was always the same 11 and didn't make a pissing sub all game. So you might as well just got a blanket, took your tea and sat on the bench.
Because you knew
the bench being Kevin Long. And then you've got obviously Company who changed it every now and again, the odd player. But Parker, you can't seem to write what starting 11 and it's going to be from 1 week to the next.
Well, funny thing about Kev Long, actually. I remember he once got subbed off during a game and then went with his dad and watched rest of the game from 110 Club.
Oh, that was Kev McDonald. Kev McDonald. Yeah. That was Kev McDonald. That was quality. That
some boy ought to do that way.
I think he's still playing. I think he's at Exeter or something like that.
Blimey, still going on. I don't know who we'd start. I'd like to say
Parker's ill. He's got the shits. He rings up Baxi and says, "Right, you're picking my 11 for this game."
After that, I've got the pen. Let me just jot it. I can't drop Trafford after that Leeds game.
Yeah,
I won't be able to. I'd keep Steve and Worrell at centre half. Lucas left back. I put Roberts back in at right back.
Yeah. That's only because Bashi is
injured. Well, the thing with Bashi, I actually don't know what position he is, because I thought he was centre half. Yeah. And then next minute he's at left back, and then next minute right back. But then again, do you have these players who? I'd rather have these players who aren't bothered where they play, and they'll be like, yeah, you know what, something.
As long as I get a game, I'm not asked.
Exactly, and that's all he's going to want to do for being a youngster. And he's just going to be like, right, I'm happy to play. But I'd go Roberts there. I'd like to see Cullen and Brownhill back in middle.
Yeah.
I don't know about Brownhill though, because I seen the picture of his eye after the game on, I think it was Instagram, and it's a real mess, weren't it? A big, huge gash. So hopefully he's got hopefully his stitches have healed, or he can bandage him up for the game. But I'd like to see them two in the middle of the park. So let me just jot that down, because I'll forget. Cullen and Josh. And then obviously Jaden on left, but I don't know. I'd go 4-3-3. I think Jaden on left, Fleming up top, Luca right, and then I'd have Laurent, Brownhill, and Cullen just sat in that middle of the park. But then again, do you swap Laurent for Hannibal and let Hannibal sit in front of Cullen and Brownhill and just let him just run ragged that defence in midfield, let him break through? I think that'll be me. Yeah, so I'll go Trafford.
I'd take it back. I would, honestly.
Trafford, Lucas, Steve, Brownhill, Cullen, Hannibal, Josh, Luca, Fleming, and what's the other guy? Anthony up top. I think that's just a dangerous attacking team.
It is. I tell you one person I never.
What about you? What would you go for?
No, I'd be more than happy with that. That. You know what? I don't think I've seen enough from Sarmiento to say that he deserves to start. Now I don't know whether he needs a run of games or what, but from what I've seen, I'm like, yeah. I mean, again, shithouse online, putting the L in Ellen Road, it was quality, and then Burnley put in flaming that radio piece, like this is for Ellen Road.
Love will tear us apart. Do you think Mark Trezor, just going on, just a quick one about him, like, do you think Parker's saying he's willing to give him a shot, but then you see all the social media side, that's in one way, he's sat in a car like crying and stuff. But for me, he's our most expensive buy in ever. If I'm right. And then I think he'd rip the Championship up. He really would. I think he's that attacking and the assists and goals he got at Genk. I don't know if he's been plagued by injury or he just don't seem to be in and around that team when he should be. Did he want the move away?
Ajax tried to come in after the signed Vout.
Yeah.
And said we won't mind having a look at Marchesor, and they said, but we're Brassic, we haven't got out. And he went, well, we know you've got something because you're paying us for Vout. So
yeah.
Why are you trying to pull the wool over our eyes? And then anyway, Ajax, they said even if you did come to some sort of fee, he's injured. He's not going to pass a medical.
Yeah.
So they said no. I think Olympiacos came in for him after that as well. And then they said no. Well, they said whatever, but he's not going to pass a medical. So they went,
what's his actual injury? Does anyone know?
I'm not entirely sure, but all we got told was that it's looking like middle of October that he could be back.
So he should be coming back.
It's not even that far. Not even that far. But then it's obviously
integrating him into the team and then getting him to take out Koleos's position, which at the minute it's just not going to happen, is it?
No. I think it'd be a slow nurture in, but I think give him a run of games in the champ, he could be our Nathan Teller.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's like I don't get these. This is the thing I don't get with players. Just give it, like I said to you before, just give them 90 minutes. Give your all for the club. You're there on a contract. If Burnley said to me, right, I wouldn't do anything now. I'm 18 stone, massive. I won't be able to.
Mate, I don't give a shit. I'd be Kevin Long, mate. I'd sit on all fours. I'd sit on all fours and let them all sit on me for 90 minutes. I don't give a shit.
I'd play for free and I'd graft my arse off. And I just think you're getting paid all this money. Just go and play. Just win whatever you want. You could win Championship, then get a big move next season. But just for that season, just give us your all. And I think if he does get into the team and he does start playing and he does start making goals and assists, and that's when they get the move if they want to move. But
when the window's shut, it's almost like
it's impossible.
To be fair, Matt even said that there were players that were muttering about like, oh, I won't mind to move this, that, and the other. That when the window shut, went straight into Parker's office and were like, I'm willing and ready to die for the shirt. Put me in. I'm ready to do this. Which they're going to come out and say that and try and save their ass. But that's the only way they're going to get a move. They can't just sit there and think, yeah, well, I know in 12 months I'm going to get a move. I've already said it. Muric spat his dumb. He didn't even come back for pre-season training.
Well, he's just been banned off. He just got sent home from national duty as well. Didn't he? For staying at a bar too late.
He stayed in Zurich when all players had come back to Turf Moor and said, I'm not coming back. I don't want to play. The way I've been treated, I'm not coming back.
But the thing is, if you don't want to fight for me, if you don't want to be in the Burnley top and you don't want to put it on and give you 100% your, don't be here. Don't be here. You shouldn't have signed at first place if you thought you were better than a club. And there's no player on this God's given earth who is bigger than Turf Moor, bigger than Burnley. You can be $100,000 a week or whatever you want to be on, but fans will just turn on you and be like, well, why not playing? Why are you wasting our time?
100%, mate. 100%. The big question is then you've picked your 11.
Yeah.
90 minutes has gone. Whistle's blown. Referee's a wanker. He always is. What scoreline are you going for? What are you saying?
I'm going to say I've got this wrong every time I've done it on my YouTube. So
that's why it's a prediction, mate.
And I've always stuck with Brownhill. So I'm going to say 4-0. And I'm going to go Jay Nanty to get a goal. Luca 2. And then I'm going to go... I'm just going to say Steve for a big header at back post or something like that.
Love it.
I'm going to have to back it now, because if not, then if it comes in, I'll be gutted.
To be fair, there's nothing worse.
What about yourself? What do you think?
I think we'll win 100%.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win it, but you know what? I think it's going to be harder than we think. I think they're going to come here. Their away form's better than their home form. I'm going to say we 3-1.
3-1.
It's a 3-1, yeah. 3-1, even 2-1. I think if we do get a third, it'll be like dying in minutes at game. Then it's like, right, game's done.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be 2-1 for quite a while. I think we might go into break at half time, one apiece.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they got beat by West Brom last game, but then they had a behind closed doors game I was reading today. They only played Everton and Waterloo, but they won 3-0. But apparently some of the players are still out from injury. But I think that might give them a little bit of a confidence boost coming into this game, thinking, well, I'll tell you what, we've just done them. I know they're a lower league, they're a lower league side, but they still get the game time, don't they? And just them little bits of training and behind closed games can make your season. Well,
yeah, they can. Massively.
It's like when we play Man United behind closed doors and did them 3-0, it's like, oh, what? No one expected that.
No, I think, didn't we beat behind closed doors twice as well?
Yeah, and Newcastle, twice. I think we beat as well.
Yeah. Oh, that Newcastle one were weird because they were like saying that they'd won 4-1 and then they'd won 5-0 or 7-0 or whatever. And there were like loads of scorelines being banded around online, but
I think they did not have 2 games. I think they played one set of squad and then another set of squad.
Yeah. Which ain't bad because obviously it gets fitness into everybody's legs.
Yeah.
Mr. Biscuit says at least 3-0. At least 3-0. At least. Love that. At least.
That's like minimum.
Bare minimum. Anything less than that, then might as well give up. But no, I mean, obviously not much to say really on Portsmouth. I've not really done much graft on what they are, who they are. They're a football team down south. That's it. There you go. Job done. But they are obviously they're here on merit. They've done really well to get promoted. They've had the troubles. I look at them a little bit like Southampton. Leeds did the same. There are many clubs that have fallen down the EFL pyramid and have had to rebuild themselves. And I think Pompey are one of them teams that maybe next season they'll look at how Oxford have started. Look at how Ipswich came up and then up again. It can happen. It really can happen.
It's like these teams as well that have always dropped low. I mean, even Blackburn, they've dropped to lower and then they've come back up and then they've stuck around 14, 15. And then now they always end up there at the start of the season and then have to come back down again because they can't finish and they can't see it out. But you look at the likes of Luton, who've come up from League One, Championship, and then they've come up from them all, haven't they? Yeah. And these clubs, you've got to remember some of these are still big clubs that were down in League One. It were only a couple of seasons ago. Sunderland were down there, now they're up there fighting wheels at the top already, and it's just a massive. I mean, the Sunderland documentary from years ago. It's still a massive change and. I think there's certain teams in the Premier League that have come down now and they'd struggle to get back out because players they lose that many players and then that's when the pyramid falling starts, doesn't it? Then I'm surprised we haven't, to be fair, but we've got that such of a structure at Turf Moor that Burnley that we can. I don't think we'll ever do that. I don't think we'll ever fall down.
We are in a very, very, very healthy position. That's one thing I can. That's one thing I can categorically confirm and say we are very, very healthy, and and
it's all down to owners as well.
Pierce said it. I mean, he's even said it for himself that he wants to turn Burnley into a Champions League club.
Yeah,
that were his words.
If you get an owner like that, who. Like even in the documentaries, you can tell he's giving everything. Like this, you can tell like there's times where he's probably wanted to give up and thought, you know what, I don't need any of this. And he's got obviously such a good backing, and the backroom staff themselves, from receptionists at Turf all the way through that club, everyone has put their heart and soul into it, and it's that's why we're such a good club, and we love it. Everyone loves it. And to have that kind of ownership, though, like you say, when people are saying, "Oh, they're going to liquidize it and get rid of it," he's not. I don't. There's not a single chance. He'll go down farting. He's put that much money into it.
What other chairman prior to a match day walks under culvert, meets up with fans in pubs?
As a fan.
Well, whether he does or not.
Oh, I've
Probably
seen him
not.
on a fan. I've caught him a few times actually. Him and his little PA.
But he's like, I don't know. I just like everything about him. I think
Yeah, he likes
what
to
he
be
says.
amongst the fans as well,
Yeah,
which I like. And he's not a chairman who will just sit back and be like, you know what,
we
I'll
could
leave
have
all
Mark
them.
Garlick, who literally
Yeah.
gets his mum to sew his fucking jeans pockets shut before he even wears them.
You
Because he
won't
was
see him
tight as
buying
a
a fancy
crab's
tray
arse.
anyway.
Oh no, bloody hell, you won't see the part out of him. Even if he went to give blood, nothing would go through part because he's too
It's
tight
not.
of a stingy arse.
Yeah, it's not just Alan though as well. Like you see JJ Watt sat in away and
Yeah,
in cricket field stand getting amongst it, and it's like
yeah.
I've never seen this from other owners or other like investors in the club, and you think, what's happening? And then obviously you see them how much they do love the club and the stuff they do for the club, and you've got to think everything they do generates money for this club to keep us not to not go down ever and just be where we are. I don't mind being a yo-yo team for the next 10 years. I'd be happy at that. 1 year in Championship, come back down again. Like in Premier League, sorry. But then if he's got aspirations and ambitions to see us as a Champions League side, then I don't see why he can't do it. Under the right guidance, look at Dash. We got European football. Imagine that back at
So I
Turf
mean,
Moor,
and we barely spent a penny. We barely spent a penny and achieved that. So it's just a case of I think we could do something like that under Parker. You know, shithouse these 1-0 wins like we did, because that season we got to Europe, it was just a case of shithousing 1-0 results every single time. Which
good old
can help. Yeah, exactly.
I'll never forget watching the Aberdeen game actually at the turf when we had that. They pulled the van up round the back.
Yeah,
everyone was watching it on big screen.
Everyone waiting for a European tour. Where did we go? Scotland. Yay!
And then after that, we got annihilated.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we played all right. Who did we have?
When we played that Bakashir or Besiktas or something. We're from.
Oh yeah, we played Istanbul Basaksehir.
Yeah,
and then beat them, and then we got Olympiacos. And personally, I think we were cheated out. I think we cheated out.
The home game.
The away game, away game, we still put in a performance, not the best performance that we could have, but I still think there was a bit of something in there. And then at home, we absolutely pasted them.
Yeah,
but we never got anything
out
of the game.
I was hoping for the old Tottenham game where Pavlyuchenko sold us off with the fall, and that way historic.
That's probably one of the first games I've ever went to and bawled my eyes out. I was sat there just so close to like, oh my God, I'm going to see Burnley in a cup final. Like, this is going to happen. And that, by the way, is the only year that cup tournament has ever gone like that, where it has to go to extra time.
Really?
Burnley should, they scrapped it after that.
Ah, right.
That was the only time.
Oh, now it's the penalties, isn't it?
Now, we'd have technically won it on away goals. Because of the comeback, we'd have won it on away goals, and the fact we scored more at home, so we would have gone through. But because they'd done it that way, they ended up fucking us, and it just ended up costing us in the end. But on the flip of that, would we have got to Wembley in the playoff final? Yeah, did we use that as a negative to get that far and go further? Which, you know what, as much as a Judas prick, you know what, I can't fault him for doing his little bit.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
So obviously you get people on and you ask them questions all the time. I want to know, what is the most memorable game that you've had as a Burnley fan, whether it be new or old, where it stood out to you and you thought, you know what, that were unreal, that what a day.
I think Blackpool away under Dash was quite memorable.
Is that the Kieran Knightley goal, the 1-0?
I wish Kieran Knightley were in a Burnley shirt, but
very cool.
Michael Cartley didn't do a bad job either. But yeah,
that's the guy I mean. I was actually in Blackpool Tower when we watched that game. Oh,
were you at Tower Bar? We were in
Tower Bar.
because I didn't have a ticket for the game, but obviously thousands of
We all
Burnley
went
fans
over.
just stormed Blackpool.
In
Trains
the
were absolutely
sandcastle with
heaving.
you. I remember
Yeah,
someone set
that's
a
where we
blue
were. We were in
flare off.
Castle. We were in
Someone set a
Castle
blue
and stuff.
flare off before the game, and it were mental.
Yeah, it was smoke everywhere because we watched it in Castle, and then I remember going out at half time, grabbing some like fish and chips from just like a place literally about 3 doors down. And then I'm sat eating it, and just I've ate the last piece now. I'm about to put rubbish in bin. I've just heard it all popping off. And I just thought, oh shit. So I run in, and everyone's just it was like walking into a scene of like a bar brawl. You've just gone in and everyone's clambering all over everyone. And then at the full-time whistle, I was stood on a snooker table and slipped backwards, fell into like a mound of chairs, and I'm just mangled like this. And I'm still like, yeah, it's proper giving it. But that were probably up there. And
mine's probably gonna be the Blackburn game where we won 3-0 at home. It was leading up to the game. It was massive before the World Cup. And whoever went top, but I just thought it was so good, as in like waking up early Derby Day, and then there was the War Memorial. Everyone went round for the minute sounds first, and then all the pubs were packed early doors, and then coming onto Turf, all the army doing the last North, I think it was. I can't remember.
The last post, yeah.
Last post, and then just because before that game, we were like, Barnsley weren't really going. He didn't know whether we were going to be there or not, did he? And then
no, because at that point he thought, I'm just gonna pack it in as a footballer. My career's over.
And then to get them goals and then to finish it off in that day, that'll go down for me as one of the best games. In fact, I actually went with my mum and dad, and I remember a lady a chicken near us, and then we scored, and I just see loads of men just flying over the top. I'm like, come here, Elaine, leave out of the way. Dad's just like, what's going on? But yeah, I think that's up there with most memorable that I can have at Turf Moor so far.
Yeah, I mean, the memorable one at the Turf, like I say, probably was the Spurs game.
Yeah,
probably that Spurs game.
I agree with that as well.
Literally, I mean, any of them cup games, the 2-0 win against Arsenal with both goals by Kev Mack. Chelsea away was that when we won on penalties. I just remember being sat behind goal. I got the coach down, and it was my first ever time going to an away game in London. So I was shitting myself. I'm thinking London's this big hoodlum area. I'm asking people if they've got knuckle dusters and all sorts of stuff. I was shitting my pants.
What, before you went down for coach?
Yeah. So I'm like, are we all well stacked on this coach? Do we all know what we're doing? But obviously I hadn't a bloody clue.
Suicide, Dan.
Yeah. And then as the game went on, obviously there were the Drogba incident, throw it coin back into Burnley fans, and then when I just remember Akinbaye sort of, as he bagged, I just sort of dropped in shock. My mate said I'd gone from having colour to just going white because I just sort of like felt every emotion, and then you've just got Akinbaye stood about 3 meters in front of me, just like, giving it all this, pushing people away, and just stood there. And then penalties, I just, especially when Elliot missed it, and I thought, hey, Elliot bags this, that's it, we're through. And then he missed, and I just thought, right, that's it, back on the coach.
Game over.
I actually remember coming out the ground, bumping into a mate, and he came over, and I kissed him because I was that fucking happy. So, like, yes, get in, give it proper Gary Neville Scholes treatment, going all in. But yeah, the little things like that you remember for a lifetime, and I think
good memories.
Yeah, that's what you want as a football club. You are going to suffer lows as well, and as much as nobody wants that, I mean, look at Reading. Reading look set to be on the cusp of going bust.
Yeah.
This is a team that had some glory days in the Prem under Steve Coppell, and they had a real team like Kevin Doyle, Shane Long, Marcus Hanneman in goal, Hunt, Stephen Hunt, Leroy Lita. Yeah, what a player we were.
You were a goal
Dave
machine.
Kitson, that ginger bastard up top. Yeah. So they had a really decent team, and we can't forget Andre Biquet and his madness moment.
Well, that's it. And then we signed him after that.
Yeah. We signed it. We saw a madman in there and thought, yeah, he'll do well in Burnley.
He scored 3 goals, and I remember he scored 3 goals for us. And I remember I were in the away in for Birmingham game, I think it was. He scored an overhead kick, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
how do you just pull that off? BK with bicycle.
he was just a madman, absolute madman.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? But that's why I've started this YouTube channel as well, because it's obviously I can just serve all the day and just have the memories of like going on and seeing these games. And then obviously I've got a lad now, and I saw he's not really into football at all, and I keep blagging him saying like, "Come on, with daddy." He's like, "It's too loud." I'm like, "Right, well, you'll come on soon enough."
No, I'm up. Esme loves it. She keeps asking when I'm going to get her on to another game and stuff.
Get him on as soon as possible.
But like I say, with work and stuff, it's just commitments and trying to do all that shit. But no, Baxi, I really appreciate you giving up your time. It's been over an hour. I'll let you obviously crack on. But where can people check you out and stuff on social media? Let people know where they can do the bit.
So I've only got so far at the minute. Obviously, I've got my Facebook. That's just personal. I don't really put anything on there. Just normals, everyday stuff. I do have Twitter, or X is what it's called now. It's at Chris Baxendale 7. 9 times out of 10, I'm getting banned on there for my controversial tweets to players after games and stuff. But other than that, it's just YouTube, and it's just Burnley Backs. And I've been making my intro earlier on today for Saturday, so it's a new one actually, which is going to be on them for the time being. So not like this one after. This is all yours is all great. I just seen it all coming in before. He's done really well. But yeah, that's where you can catch me.
Right, happy days. People, please do go check Baxi out. He's a great guy. Known each other since we were kids. So yeah, it feels weird because I still feel like a kid, but I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. And then I learned about it to my dad as well earlier on. I was like, I said, "Oh, I'm going on with Rob's lad," and he's like, "Rob?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going on with." I said, "I'm going on Dan's YouTube channel." He's like, "Oh, I'll tune in," but I don't know if he's clicked it because I'm not too sure if he's all clued up on technology now.
What's this button do? How do I do this?
Oh, he's losses.
No, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for getting the comments in. Thank you for everybody who's showed the support. Thank you for everyone who listens and has been listening. But we could be back with a watch along for Saturday. Don't know yet. It's dependent because I'm going straight out after the game if I can. If not, then you'll just see me for a preview.
Then I'll be here on Sunday.
Yeah, and if not, you can go and see all the action anyway. Like I say, Burnley Backs, get yourself over there. You can see all the action.
If you spot me, try and you can get in the video. I'll put you.
Happy days. But until then, we will either be back on Saturday or I plan to be back, actually, because I've got it written in my phone, on Monday is when I'm planning to do another match preview. So I'm going to try and get an Oxford fan. I'm sure there's many of them that want to talk about how brilliant their season started. Trying to find one probably if they were doing shit would be like rocking horse shit, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Again, thank you to you all. But until then, let's keep the faith. Let's back Parker and his boys, because this is a bunch of players that haven't even gelled yet. And when they do, I reckon we are going to be a handful for teams in this division. But until then, up the fucking clarets. Come on, Burnley!